Hey everyone, it's Anthony Allen Ramos. Okay, so excited that Jesse Tyler Ferguson has just been nominated for a Tony Award for Take Me Out on Broadway, and guys also has a brand new podcast series coming out May 25th on Spotify called Gay Pride and Prejudice, which I love. Jesse, how are you?
I'm great, thanks for having me.
Well, we'll talk Tonys in a few because that's so exciting, your first nomination, but I'm so excited for this podcast series. I mean, it's just in time. Pride is next month, but we have Gay Pride and Prejudice, which I love. So this is basically a new take on the classic story set in 2015. Gay marriage has just been legalized. There is a Latin pop star involved. Tell me about how this story goes, because I've heard a little bit and I can tell you it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's an adaptation of, the famous Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen's novel. And I think for people who don't know Pride and Prejudice, well, it's going to be, they certainly can enjoy it, but people who actually are fans of Jane Austen are going to be kind of surprised at how faithful to the adaptation we are with a lot of these characters. And there's just a lot of witty sort of, naming of characters that are nods to the novel. And, I mean, Jane Austen's works have been adapted in so many different ways. I mean, my husband just realized that Clueless is an adaptation of, a Jane Austen novel. So it's like, I just feel like her writing really lends itself to sort of interpretation. And my friend Zachary Grady, who's the writer, has been working on this for a very long time. And it was a project that he wanted to do at the beginning of the pandemic. And he wanted to record it very quickly in his basement and release it for Pride Month 2020. And I was like, wait, hold up a second. Let me just look at these scripts. And it's I think we can actually get this on a real platform. So we pitched the script around and landed with the good people over at Gimlet. And it's just been a lot of fun, and it's become bigger than Zachary Grady had ever imagined it would be.
That's so cool. And so you're an EP on this project. You're also starring in it. It's an amazing lineup of people. We have Rosie O'Donnell. You mentioned your husband, Blake Lee. Who are some of the other people? Because these characters are a lot of fun.
Malik Pancholi is one of our characters. Matthew Reish. Who else do we have? Sherry Cola. We have Reese Nicholson, who is I've discovered him as a judge on the Australia Drag Race. He's so fun. It's a really wonderful, eclectic group of almost entirely out gay actors. I think actually unless they're playing a straight role, but yeah, all the gay characters are actually being played by out gay actors, which is really exciting.
That is so exciting. We love that. And I think, that is so important. And it's going to be this kind of thing where I think there's new episodes that come out. Is it every week, or how are you rolling it out? Because I know May 25th is the start of all this, but then there's going to be ongoing episodes.
And then it's every week.
Nice.
Yeah. It's like the old days when you had to wait for an episode.
I know. I still love that. Binging is fun, but it's sometimes nice to just kind of have something fun to kind of just look forward to. And I think with podcast series, it's I feel like for the LGBTQ community, there's just such a connection to podcasts and this kind of format of listening to these stories. Do you find that that's true for your own experience?
Oh, 100%. I love that this is a new branch of storytelling that's become something that people are really responding to. I mean, Zachary Grady, my friend who wrote it, he's a huge fan of scripted podcasts. So this was a really exciting thing for him. And because of working on this, I have been exposed to so many other different genres of podcasts. I listen to my news, I listen to The Daily, I listen to, Up First from NPR, but then sometimes I put my podcasts away. And it's been really fun to sort of, discover this whole new world of entertainment.
I love it. It's something that I definitely have discovered more recently. I don't know if it was the pandemic or whatever, but super excited for this one. So we will be ready for that first episode, May 25th on Spotify. But we got to talk Tonys. Congratulations, your first nomination. It's funny. I read that you said that you kind of feel like people assume you've already had that happen because you've been on Broadway, been doing shows for so long. Obviously, multiple Emmy nominations for Modern Family. What was it like for you to get this nomination? Because I also heard that you were sick in bed when you found out or something like that.
I had either food poisoning or a terrible stomach virus.
No.
So I put myself to bed after the Sunday night show before the Monday nominations were announced. And I had some NyQuil. I think I double dosed on NyQuil. And then I was awoken by Justin, who was giving me the good news. And then I went back to sleep. And then, of course, thought I had dreamed the whole thing. So it was nice to realize that it was actually something that had happened. And yeah, I just realized, I was talking with Leah Delaria, who I made my Broadway debut with, and On the Town, and we realized that 25 years ago to this year that we made that show together. And so this is my 25th anniversary of being a working actor in New York City. So I think a lot of my friends who are nominated for the first time as well, like Rachel Dratch and Shoshana Bean, they all assume that they're like, tell us what to do because we don't know where to go. I was like, I don't know where to go either. I don't know where the entrance to this place is. I have no information. This is my first time too, and they're shocked that it's my first time. I carry myself with a lot of confidence. That's my problem.
You're very convincing. No, it's so exciting. I mean, Tonys are like still. I mean, I know you said that like. That was like you're watching the Tonys was like your lens into like, when you were a kid. Like, I mean, it's gotta feel pretty good now to get that recognition.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. And what I am so touched by is that, I watched it from afar. I watched like Audra McDonald win her first Tony Award, on television. And now, like, I'm friends with her. So it's like, I got a congratulations text from her on the day of, which is just so surreal to me. But it's just a testament to how tight the community is. Once you start working as an actor in New York, you just meet all these people. And, there's no one more open and willing to embrace new people than the theater community. And so I've been very fortunate, and I've been able to, work with a lot of my heroes, and my peers are my heroes, and my heroes are my peers, and it's just been really exciting. And so to celebrate this big moment with that group of people is very profound.
And it's such an important story. I remember like February pre-pandemic of 2020, I was like so excited about the show. Obviously everyone else was too. And then, it's finally happened now. And it tells a story about, a closeted baseball player who comes out, and then there's, so many important conversations that happen. It's interesting with Jesse, because he, has talked about, he's like, this is my first rodeo with Broadway. You have done it so much. What was it like to kind of get to share that experience, with him, who literally is like, new to the game, but, it's also got a Tony nomination.
Yes, Jesse Williams, he's so great in the show. And honestly, my part does not work unless that actor is amazing as well, because all of my scenes are with him. I share very little stage time with anyone else on stage. So I was so excited. I was a fan of his. I'm a fan of his activism. But I didn't know how he would be in a rehearsal room for a Broadway show, knowing this was his first time. And he just surpassed my expectations, and his performance is breathtaking. And obviously the Tony nominating committee agrees. But the other day he was like, so are the Tony Awards something like people get dressed up for? And I'm like, oh my God, get out of my room. Are you kidding me? It's black tie, Jesse. Like he's so new to all of it, and it's really charming. It's great.
I love that. And I do think, the unfortunate situation that happened with the photos and the video with him, I think it really has brought up an important conversation about respect and privacy for actors, because, I think it's important that people talk about that and to understand that Broadway is a sacred place. Yeah,
I mean, these guys are, most of the cast, for those who don't know, get completely nude on stage, and there's very extensive shower scenes, and they're essential to the play. It's essential to the play. The play wouldn't work if those scenes didn't exist. And it takes a lot of bravery to be that vulnerable on stage, and especially if you are, the stature that Jesse Williams is. He's a major television star, and my heart broke for him that happened. And he was, just because he's on stage doing this, it doesn't mean that it's something that needs to be on the internet. I mean, that theater is a sacred space for actors and for audience members. And, the fact that it happened on the same day of the Tony Awards and we were celebrating his acting ability, and then all of a sudden we were talking about something completely different,
Right.
just sort of took the wind out of the sails of the day for him and for the entire company. So it's unfortunate that it happened, but he, as always, deals with things with such grace and poise that I'm just following his lead, and he's spoken up about it. You know, he says consent is something that still is important, and I did not give consent, but you know, we're moving forward. He loves doing this play, and so I listen. It got maybe some extra butts in the seats, so I don't know.
No, that's a nice way of looking at it, and it is such an important story, and I hope that you know, more people are able to see it. I know that next time I'm in New York, I've got to check it out. But one of the other cool things that I saw, I think you shared on Instagram recently, was you know, you also became a dad during the pandemic. Beckett, is that your son's name? And there was a great photo, I think, you know, and pointing at you on the billboard. I mean, how cool. I mean, I guess how cool is it to be a dad, but also to kind of get to, you know, like have your son realize that you're doing some great stuff.
I mean, being a dad is a full-time job that I'm enjoying very much, and it's incredibly exhausting, but it's been a lot of fun and something that no one can prepare you for. I mean, I like to succeed at things, and I like to do things that I have confidence in, and I have zero confidence in my ability to be a father. So like, it's nice to sort of like let myself go and just sort of learn as I progress. But yeah, I took him to the theater. I was running an errand with him, and we happened to be near the theater. So I was like, let's just see what happens if I stroll him by the front of the house of the theater. And you know, I'm on several places on the side of the building. You know, life-size images of me and the whole cast, and so he was just sort of shocked that Papa was on the side of a building. And it's funny, I did a little spot on Sesame Street, I don't know, 10 years ago, and I kind of always, when I did it at the time, you know, I didn't have a kid, but I always thought, well, someday I'm going to show them this clip. And Beckett started watching Sesame Street, so Justin and I decided, well, let's just show him the clip of me and Cookie Monster. And now he asks for that clip every day. You know, it's really sweet. It's really sweet.
So sweet. And you know, actually that brings up another good point. At GLAAD, you know, with the media awards, we used to have like not a lot of inclusive kids programming, you know, and thinking about Sesame Street, who just won. It's such a moment, and I think it says so much about where we are, that there are kids and family, there are children's programming that are showing families that look like yours, that are you know, from all backgrounds. How cool is it that you get to have a child and hopefully get to you know, watch some of these more inclusive projects with them?
Absolutely. And another one I have to shout out is I actually voice me and Jim Parsons play gay dads on this animated series called Pete the Cat. And there's a whole bunch of, you know, animal children that are friends with one another, and our characters are squirrels, and we have, you know, we're a same-sex couple, and we have a daughter, and she has two dads. So that also exists out in the world, and you know, Justin and I are showing it to Beckett. He's not as into it as he is Sesame Street, and not because of the themes. He just really loves Elmo, and if Elmo's not involved, it's sort of hard to get him on board. But yeah, there is so much great programming, and we've made such strides. And my gosh, I remember waking up you know, on Saturday morning and just like turning on like Inspector Gadget and the Littles, and like all these like weird cartoons that had no social impact at all. So it's great that exists now.
No, it's so great. And look, Elmo is a big deal. I said, look, I said I booked Beyonce and I booked Elmo. Those are my two all-time ones. So totally.
Yeah.
Well, Jesse, thank you so much for the time. And just a reminder, everyone, Gay Pride and Prejudice is hilarious, highly entertaining, and it will be available starting May 25th on Spotify. It's a great podcast series. You're going to want to check it out for sure. And if you're in New York or want to travel to New York, go to check him out on Broadway and take me out. I mean, and then look, good luck at the Tonys. Fingers crossed.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you. I appreciate it.